Hey everybody, it's Mary again. This week's cards they may be versatile, but they may be just for specific occasions. Before I begin these cards, I would like to give credit to everybody that came up with these designs. Okay, for our first card, because of everybody being sick at this time of our little epidemic, I decided to do a get well card. Okay, so let's begin on this card. So what you will need is a 5x7 card. You will need a 6 3/4 by 4 3/4 red, orange, multicolored red and orange piece of paper, and then a 6.5 by 4.5 inch white piece of paper. You will also need a red and an orange ink, and you'll need to cut out a 1 3/4 to 2 inch circle, and you can put the circle away to use on another card, but you need the cutout for this. Okay, so we take our white card and we want to go about an inch down from the top and about 2 inches in. And then we're going to take a little tape, little low-tack tape, painter's tape, or if you have low-tack tape from Crafter's Companion or Paper Wishes, and you're going to tape that on. We're going to take our red and our sponge, and we're going to dip into this red, and we're going to sponge it on here. Okay. Then we're going to take our orange, and we're going to do the same thing with our orange. And I like doing multiple layers, so I'll kind of put it on a couple times. Okay. And if you have blender brushes, they work really good also. These are blender brushes. They work really good. And we'll take our circle off. And there's our circle. Okay, and I'll just get a scrap piece of paper, and I'll show you how the blender's brush does on this. Okay, and with the blender brush, you want to just circle onto your top of your pad, and then you're just going to circle, and you don't even have to press hard. It'll just automatically go on. Okay. And then I always kind of like try to get the excess off before I go into the next one. Now we'll put the orange on. Okay. So we'll show you what the blender brush, if you use a blender brush, what it will look like. And you can go over it like I did a few times. This is just one time. So that's what the blender brush looks like. So that's the blender brush. And that's the sponge. Okay. So we're going to take, you can put a tree, birds. I have from Stampin' Up! Serene Silhouette, which I took on mine. So we're going to take our precision press or your acrylic blocks, whatever you have, and we're going to stamp our images on and our saying. Okay. So we'll get this on. And we'll take the black. And we're going to stamp it on our stamps. And yes, your hands will look like mine. Okay, and then we will close the top. And press down. Okay, and there's our image. Okay, so now we're going to take our card and we're going to put our orange piece of paper on it. Okay, let's get the card. And like always, try to be equal on all four sides. Sometimes I'm a little crooked. That's okay. Looks homemade. Now on this one, I taped it down. Okay. On this one, I think I am going to pop it up. So we're going to take some dimensionals and put some dimensionals on. I love how big these dimensionals are. These are from Hunky Dory. And they are so huge. Now I won't put any in the middle here because these are big. But I usually do if they're smaller. And then we'll take the backings off. Okay, and this one, same thing. Even it out. Okay, and that's one with dimensionals. Okay, when you make your circle, try not to go a little zealous. I kind of went off to the side. And that's that card. So let's get on to our next card, which is going to take a little more work to do. So this is our next card. This one I put thinking of you. You can birthday, whatever. This one's a pretty much versatile for certain occasions. Okay, so for this one, you are going to need a 5x7 card. You are going to need a 4.5 by 6.5 piece of black paper. A 4.25 by 6.25 colored. And this color is going to coordinate with the type of ink you're going to pick out. And then a 4 by 6 inch white piece of paper. So you can use one ink to do this card. You can use 2 inks. You just want to coordinate your colored paper to your inks. So on this card, I picked blue and green to do this card. So what you want to do is find the middle of your card, and since this is 4 inches, the middle of your card is going to be at 2 inches. So you want to lightly just put a mark at the top, and then from that mark, you want to go a 1/2 inch on one side and a 1/2 inch on the other side. And you're going to do the same thing to the other side of the card. So we're going to find our 2 inches. Half and half. And then real lightly this one didn't quite make 2 inches. So half and half. So then we're going to connect the 2 end marks very lightly. Okay. So next, you're also going to need Post-its. And with the Post-its, you're going to take the sticky part and you're going to line it up with the lines you just made. Okay, turn it over. And we're going to do the same thing again. Line it up. Okay. So on this one, I sponged everything on. Like before, you can take your sponge, your blending brushes. I'm going to use the sponge again. Well, I'm going to show you what the blending brush will look like since you've already seen the... So we're just going to do the blending brush. And this one doesn't... I got to put a whole new one on because this one just doesn't want to stick. Okay, let's get a new piece on. Okay. And let's get some color on here. And you're going to add color either with your sponge or blending brush. So that's our first color. Now we'll get our second color. And we'll use this to clean up the blending brush. Okay. And now we're going to blend in the green. Okay. So there's our green. And then after you're done putting the ink on, you're going to take your Post-its off. And what that's going to do is, and you can overlap them. I went a little bit too, didn't get close enough so that you don't get that. They'll give you the crisp line. So after we do that, you're going to stamp a large flower on it. Okay. So we're going to get our large flower. And you're going to put it all the way at the bottom. And if you have rubber stamp ones where you can't see too much, just lift your paper up a little. And then take some low-tack tape and tape it on. So I have a little leeway here. It doesn't go all the way to the bottom so that it matches up with this void. Okay, so we're going to line it up on our colored. And if you have a precision press like this, you can lay down all of your stamps at one time. Okay, so my stamps are on. And we'll go ahead with the black. Ink these up. And we'll go and press it on. Okay, so there's our image. Okay, so now we're going to take our card and we're going to start putting our paper on. So first the black. Okay, in this card, you're going to show more of the card. So just line it up. Excuse me. Okay, so now we're going to take our colored paper and we are going to do the same thing and layer that on. Got a tickle in my throat. Okay, and we're going to get it even as we can. Okay, and I think I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the other card. This one I taped down. I think with this one I'm going to do dimensionals also. So, get our dimensionals on. Take the backings off. Okay, and now we will stick that one on. Okay, so there's that card. This one is sponge, this one's got the blender, and like I said, to not get these lines overlap the, if you want you can use as many pieces of postage as you want if you want to overlap them. Okay, next week we're going to be doing something a little different, and we're going to be doing card toppers from a 12 by 12 piece of paper. We're going to design our card toppers and put them in a container, and when we make cards, we can use those card toppers to design our card, and they'll all be ready to go. And we'll see you next week.